Hey guys, it's Kay here with J&Kay. Today we're going to talk about scheduling your life and time management. There are so many things to do, especially if you're trying to live a life that makes a difference and makes an impact on the world. There's always constant stimulation coming at us from one area or another. A new email, a new client maybe, somebody needs our help, family emergencies, texts, just especially in this day and age with social media. Don't even get me started on social media. It's enough just to have a phone, texts, emails, but once you get into all the social media platforms out there, there's just so much constant stimulation. And along with that can come this kind of to-do list in your brain. Like the notifications in your phone can kind of be a to-do list. Like you're working on something and then all of a sudden you get a text. Now I've got to do that. And then you get an email. Oh, I got to get back to them. And it can just be so disorganized. Your life can just become this tyranny of the urgent. If you've ever heard, that's a really awesome book, Tyranny of the Urgent, where just the most urgent thing that's happening right now is ruling your life. So how do we avoid this? How do Jay and I avoid this? Well, we have a few tips that we're going to be talking about in this video today. So with so many things to do all the time, and I live in the Northeast of the United States, which is a very busy, very kind of stressful environment where everyone is busy all the time. With all of this busyness and all of these things to do, how do I know that I'm going to get it all done without something slipping through the cracks? That's something that I constantly have struggled with. And I found some awesome answers that really have given me peace. And we'll talk about the more practical solutions at the end of this video and in future videos. But I just want to have you guys think, what areas of my life could use work? Do I feel like I never know if I have time to tell somebody, yes, I can do this, because something else might be coming up at the same time? Are you afraid to make commitments because you're overbooked? What about, are you okay taking a break? Sometimes when I'm like about to take a break and just relax or do something I really love or enjoy, for instance, drawing and just like coloring books for adults to just kind of color in like a nature scene and things like that. How in the world am I supposed to know if I can actually sit down and do that or if something else is more productive? There's a way to know, and we'll talk about that. What about, have you ever felt like, oh, is there a bill that I'm late for? How do I organize that? How do I know, like, unless it comes in the mail and I deal with it right when it comes in, or if it's in my email and I pay it right away, how will I remember to pay that so I don't get a late fee? These are really important questions that I think a lot of us deal with. And Jay and I have, since we got married 6 years ago, we've been trying to put together a life system. We call it Life System. And we've been putting together a system for all of our life. You see, like, there are to-do lists, there are, email platforms, different calendar platforms, and different tools, especially technological tools, but sometimes people use written planners, things like that. There are so many different things that can help you. There are budgeting softwares out there. How do you put them all together to have a cohesive life where you know everything is under control, everything is organized, you're as effective and efficient as you need to be while also giving yourself peace and bubble room, I call it. Enough bubble room that you're not stressed to the max every second. So we all have a need to live with integrity, and that means living up to your own personal standards, living up to the subconscious standards that you set for yourself. So if we feel like we should be at a certain level and we're not living up to that level, we're going to feel this disconnect and we're going to kind of be disappointed in ourselves. Either that, or we're going to lower our standards in order that our actions will actually meet our standards and we don't feel that lack of integrity anymore. But in order to be our best selves and live up to our highest potential, which is really what we're all called to as human beings, to make a difference in this world and live up to our highest potential. In order to do that, we really need to live with integrity. We can't lower our standards to meet where we are. We need to raise where we are to meet our standards. So let's talk about some solutions now. So first of all, it's important for us to believe in our hearts that the best gift that we can give to others is to be the best K, or whoever, whatever, insert name here, that we can be. The best gift I can give to the world is to be the best K that I can be. That means taking care of my fundies. Brian Johnson is one of our personal mentors, and he talks about his fundies all the time. Eating, sleeping, moving, which means getting enough exercise, not being so sedentary. Eating means being healthy, not just eating to eat. Eating healthy, fueling your body, not just avoiding hunger, but fueling your body and your mind with the things you put into it. Sleep, getting enough sleep, knowing how much sleep you should get, how early you should go to bed, how early you should wake up. Sleeping consistently is a big thing. Anyway, all of those things are your fundamentals, and if those are lacking, you're not going to be living up to the best that you can be, and you're not going to be able to perform at your highest. So get those things right first. Think about your fundies. Eat, move, sleep. And Brian Johnson has a couple more. We've adapted them to be peace and ownership. So peace is feeling peace, feeling at rest, feeling confident, knowing who you are. And a lot of times peace is actually contingent on the other fundies. If we have low blood sugar or if we haven't slept well, often it will just disrupt our peace. So it's important to know, like, sometimes you feel like it's the end of the world, but you're just hungry. So it's important to pay attention to those things. So we've got eat, move, sleep, peace, and ownership. Ownership is feeling like you're making a difference in the world and having control over your contributions. So for us, a lot of times that's knowing what we're doing with our day, having goals, and then following our plan to achieve those goals. That's taking ownership. It's taking responsibility for your life. And when you feel like you're taking responsibility for your life, you feel this sense of accomplishment that's really actually fundamental to our healthy well-being, especially our mental well-being. So we've added to the 3 physical eat, move, sleep fundies. We've added 2 kind of psychological ones, one for work and one for play, ownership and peace. Brian Johnson calls them, I believe it's breathe and focus, but the words peace and ownership help a little bit more for us. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit briefly about our life system and how we kind of overcome the craziness of life and the disorganization of life. But we're going to really get more in depth into those things later. I wanted to mostly touch on the fundies today. But some of the areas that some of the tools really that we use to accomplish our organizational goals are capturing. Tony Robbins talks about this. I think he might call it something different, but it's basically when a thought comes in or some kind of external stimulation comes in, write it down somewhere and have a singular place where you write it down. It doesn't work for me to have notes all over the house. That contributes to the disorganization. So I use an app called Todoist, and I just note to self everything I'm thinking. A text comes in that I can't reply to right now, I just note to self, and I even can use my little, I have Android, so I use Google Assistant, and I just speak into my phone or into my smartwatch, note to self, get back to this text. And it just goes right into my inbox. All the stuff's in the inbox, and I have a certain time of day that I go through that inbox and I can organize all my thoughts. So I put everything in there from I need to take more walks or buy milk or whatever enters my mind. It's not a place of organization, it's a place of capturing. So I can get just all of the things that are coming in. Like, say I'm working on a really intense, really important project that's really bringing me forward in life, and then this little stimulation comes. It's important, but it's distracting. I can just capture that, put it aside. It takes 2 seconds. Put it aside and get back to what I really wanted to be doing without feeling, oh, if I don't remember this, I'm gonna be in big trouble. Try not to ever rely on your memory more than you have to, so that your brain can be free to focus on what you're doing, what you're contributing to the world. So capturing is one thing, another one is time blocking, and another is timers. We use morning and afternoon timers specifically. That was the very beginning of our life system. Morning timers to start the day. You wake up, you push play, and you follow these timers. We'll talk more in depth about that in a future video. And then evening timers, at a certain time of the day, you start your evening timers and wind down before bed. Following a timer system is a little different. You can follow a to-do list, but a timer system is basically a timed to-do list. So it helps because you're just focusing on one thing at a time. You don't have to think, did I do that? Check it off, move down to the next thing. It's kind of like you plan the right amount of time to do each thing, and you can just be there now. You can just be present. I'm brushing my teeth. I don't need to think about the next thing. I'm gonna take 2 minutes and just brush my teeth. And I actually find I schedule more time than I need to, but it actually goes a lot faster when I follow my timers than if I'm just trying to go off the top of my head to get ready for bed and to start my day. We actually use timers all throughout our day, but the most important timers are morning and evening bookends. You can really gain the most control over your day in the morning and evening, especially before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. And so we found timers are really effective at those times. So we've got capturing, calendar blocking, we'll talk about that another time, timers, we'll talk more in depth about that another time, and then journaling or brainstorming. This is so important. However you do it, it's kind of like capturing, but it's more giving yourself time and space to write out and process what you're going through, what you're thinking about, maybe even brainstorming for the future. How can you problem solve certain areas that have been bothering you? Give yourself the mental space to do that. That's going to be so much more effective than just trying to go, solve problems. Well, take some time to think about those problems before you just try to act. Also, processing is so important to our mental health. So write out what happened. Maybe there's a situation that was bothering you. You can just write that situation down and figure out, oh, that's why that bothered me. So kind of being your own therapist in some ways as you're journaling. So those are 4 tips I wanted to give you. Use capturing, calendar blocking, timers, and journaling, and we're going to talk about all those things more in the future. But those things are really essential to our life system. We call our life system LYFE, life system, and it stands for the life you fully enjoy. So we always attempt to live the life we can fully enjoy by giving ourselves the time and space to be with our family, to put time into the things that we value, and to make major contributions to the world through our work and through our play as well, by becoming the best people that we can possibly be. All right, thanks guys. I'll talk to you soon again, and I'd like, if any of you have any experiences with a capturing system, a timer system, calendar blocking, write it down in the comments below. Let me know how that's changed your life, what you think about it, maybe what tools you use to do those things. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks guys.